Well, it's another one of those days. I was about 20 minutes into this video, and and the doorbell rang, and I'm expecting somebody to come here, but not for another 35 minutes. But they're here, so I had to go take care of that, and now I'm starting over again. It's just, I wish there was some way. I have no idea how to do this when I'm filming on my phone, to stop it if something's happening, and then start it and continue on. I guess it's time for some tutorials. So whatever. I'm going to, as I say on my t-shirts, I don't rehearse my spontaneity, except in these situations where I've just done all of this and I'm going to do it all again. I'll try to make it a little different this time, those things. But you won't know that, only I will. It is Thursday, the 10th of June. And it's a beautiful day here in LA. I feel really bad when I look at the weather report and I see parts of the country that are just roasting right now. And that's normally the case out here, but we've been really fortunate with, weather. It's kind of in the high 70s here. So it makes going out and doing some yard work really pleasant. But it's supposed to pick up and get hotter, I think, next week. So I'm going to try to jam in everything I can before hell runs over us here. I'm just not a hot weather person. It's not my cup of tea. It's that Eastern European stock. I like it cold. Let's see. So what's going on here? It's going to be a busy day. I've got this other stuff that's going to be right after this. I've got some books to take to the post office. Some couple of cameos that were ordered that I have to do today. Couple of songs that I'm still trying to get finished for people, and the like. I had a great time yesterday with Allison Freebo doing their show. It was fun. Some of the Clubhouse members showed up on there, and that's always fun for me to see them. And but it was nice. It was their next to last show, and then they're putting this to bed. Whether it's permanent or hiatus, that hasn't been decided yet by them. But it was really fun. I've known Freebo since the days, the very early Bonnie Raitt days when Freebo was playing bass with Bonnie. And Maria Moldauer, a whole bunch of different people. He's always been a good friend, and it's always great to see him. And their show was really a kick to do, so I really enjoyed that. And just lots of things going on. It's just crazy. And it was really fun. Last night I got an email, and it was from Amanda Brecker. After doing her show yesterday, somebody contacted her and said, "Oh, I got to go check it out." And she went and watched it and wrote me a really great email. I would love to get together again next time she's in Los Angeles, so that would be great. But that was really a fun project, and I'm really glad that everybody responded to it the way they did, because there's an element of like touching James Taylor and Carole King songs. They're kind of a sacred cow. So, if you don't do them great, people will really jump down your throat. But she did a beautiful job on them. And for me, I've done about a half a dozen albums now that are tributes to James and Carole. And it's always funny every time going in and recutting the songs that you played on the original songs on. And you want to make them that artist's version of it. So you kind of have to, kind of take away some of your preconceptions about those parts that you did originally and try to make something new out of it that still honors the song but makes it that person's version of it. And that was one of the nice things, like just changing tempos from 4/4 to 6/8 made a huge difference on that thing, on that album. So, but I thought today I'd go another direction. I've been doing all the singers and stuff. So today I'm going to go visit an old friend that we've known each other for a long time. We did gigs where the section opened for him, and that's Tim Weisberg. Tim Weisberg is a wonderful flute player. He's been around a long time and has a long time relationship with the great keyboard player David Benoit. And so we got to do this album together back in 1989, I believe we did this. But I am going to unencumber myself here and pull out my new copious notes book here. And I'm now building. It's really sweet. It's CN for copious notes, and there's a drawing of me. This is such a nice gift. So this is an album, Tim Weisberg album, called Outrageous Temptations, and this is from 1989. And it was produced by Tim and Jeff Weber, who I've done a number of projects with, and David Benoit, engineered by Derek Marcel and Ben Rogers. It was interesting when Tim was in school, when he started in school, he wanted to be a drummer. And but much to his dismay, when they were handing out the instruments, they did them in alphabetical order of your last name. So needless to say, Weisberg was back of the line. I have a friend, Randy Zacuto. Randy would have probably been behind him, but odds are there weren't too many. Oh, hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. Oops, accidentally touched. I don't want to get in here in advance. Hold on, let me get this back to the top. Okay. But he wanted to play drums, but needless to say, so by the time they got to Weisberg, all that was left was bassoon and flute. And he chose the flute because it was much easier to carry, and in his mind, he thought it was going to be an easier instrument than the bassoon. And, these things happen. When I went into school, I thought I was going to be the pianist, and they needed a bass player. And it changed my life. And I'm sure for him, had he been able to do the drums, he would have probably been a great drummer because he's a great musician. But he ended up as playing flute. And it was funny, I always think back to years ago, I was watching the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and the great James Galway was on. And Johnny said to him, so tell me, are you a flutist or a flautist? And Galway looked at him, he goes, I play flute. And that was it. And Johnny kind of, But he was quite a character. But so Tim became a flutist or a flautist or a flute player, however you want to designate it. And it was interesting when he finally got started in work, and his very first studio gig was in '69, recording with the Monkees. So that's an auspicious beginning to a career with the Monkees. Man, that was a big deal in those days. And but during the course of his career, he's played with all kinds of people: the Carpenters, Terry Reid, Paul Horn, Eddie Rabbitt, Dave Mason, and David Benoit. And he's done like a lot of TV and film and stuff. He's always been a good working musician, which is great. But it was really funny when the section opened for him, because Tim's music was really kind of at the beginning of like smooth jazz. And it was kind of that music, man, you just want to like get down in a convertible on PCH on a nice day and just cruise up the California coast on Highway 1 and listen to music like this. And it's a good mood. And when we did our sound check for the first gig we did with Tim, he was there, and he finished his sound check, and then we went up and did our sound check. And man, we were a raucous, loud, aggressive band. And he kind of went, holy crap, these are the opening act. It was a funny moment. It really caught him a bit off guard. But we did it, and it was great. It was great. But I mean, we were that kind of band where we could go out and open for Mahavishnu Orchestra and hold our own. So it was a great time, but we were really more of an instrumental rock band than that kind of the smooth jazz feel for sure. So, but on this project, we had a great band on this one. Just to be sure on here, it was myself, Jeff Piccaro on drums, Mike Landau on guitar, David Benoit on keyboards, Luis Conti on percussion, and Tim on flute or however you're going to say it. But really, it's just especially got, I every time I've ever done a project with Mike Landau, it goes to another level. Mike is one of the most fascinating guitarists I've ever known. I've done lots and lots of records with him over the years, but his sensibility and where he goes is unlike pretty much anybody else, and especially when he's doing his thing. But he's one of those guys, he's a studio player too. So you call him and he'll do what's needed for that session. But then when you hear him doing his thing, it's just like, wow, pretty amazing. So I'm going to just play a couple of things on here. This is a song called Margarita, and it was written by Todd Robinson. And let's just get started with Tim Weisberg here, and Outrageous Temptations is the album. Real interesting turn at the end, just to go into odd time. It's like it just take the song another place altogether. This is a beautiful song called "Promise Me," and this was written by Larry Cohn, C-O-H-N. Here we go. I love playing. I loved playing with Jeff Porcaro. Oh, I do miss that guy, man. His feel in his pocket was so beautiful. And I think about him every day. Okay, here's one last song. This is the actual title track from the album, called Outrageous Temptations, and this is written by David Benoit and Russ Freeman, another really gifted artist and writer. So let's go ahead and check this out and see what we got here. I loved when I would get calls to do projects like this. It's really so much fun to play. That's like Bernie Williams's record. Just this instrumental, like cool stuff. It's really so much fun. They've done quite a few of these. It's I wish I had the opportunity to do more of them, but it's really fun to play. And God, what a good band! Jeff lays down a pocket that's so ridiculous, and just Mike Landau, it's just nuts. He's so good, And I've had just so much fun over the years with Luis Conte on percussion. We had a great time with Phil Collins and lots of studio work together. So that was good. And when we played with Bernie Williams live, Luis was on that, and that was great. So, so if you want to check it out, it's Tim Weisberg, and it's Outrageous Temptations from 1989 is the album. And Tim he's got like 20 albums out. He's had a long career, lots of music. So, if this is what you like, check him out. It's really some great stuff. I'm going to get running now. I've got a bunch of stuff to take care of today, so I'm going to get started on that. But I wanted to get this off before I got too bogged down in my life. So have a fabulous day. I'll be back tomorrow. And as always, thank you, frontliners. You are the heroes of our society at this point, keeping us all afloat through these difficult and uncharted waters that we're on. So you're the best. And that should do it. So have a fabulous time. And like I said, see you tomorrow. So, okay, bye-bye.